So, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Welcome and thank you for being here. So, my name is Enrique, and before I continue any further, I want to clarify lang a common misconception na a lot of people have about the stock market. So please, if you play the stock market right now, please raise your hand using the emojis. Okay, so I can only see a few hands. Konti lang nakikita ko, but now what is the reason why those of you who didn't raise your hand don't play the stock market? So the most common answers ang naririnig ko palagi is because I don't have money, I don't have time, I don't know what to do, 'di ba? But after my talk today, I will prove to every single one of you that every one of you can invest in the market today at this age with your knowledge kahit itong pandemic, and you can become successful investors in the long run. So guys, mag-amina na tayo. Most of us love to spend and shop for things, diba? Especially ngayon ng pandemic, it's so convenient. Lahat online na, madi-deliver sa'yo sa bahay mo or wherever you are. We end up going online and adding a lot of unnecessary things to our cart, or ang sinasabi ni Lee Min-ho, ado to kato now. But don't worry if you can identify with this person. It doesn't mean na patay ka na. 'Di ba? Kasi I'd be lying to you right now kung sinabi ko sa'yo na hindi din ako ganyan. It's perfectly fine naman, 'di ba, if you shop or you spend on your luxuries, kung ano gusto mo. But the important part is that it's within your own spending capabilities. Dapat budgeted na yan. Dapat allotted na yan beforehand. So I want to share lang with you all a quick story before I continue any further. So I sat down with my uncle a few weeks ago. Nag-uusap kami habang umiinom ng juice. Sabi niya sa akin, I feel bad for you and your generation. So sabi ko sa kanya, bakit? In my eyes, ang swerte-swerte namin. We live in a more developed and technologically advanced world. Ang dali na lang ng buhay namin. It's so convenient. And sabi niya, oo, tama ka nga. Pero to achieve that comfortable financial lifestyle na iniisip ko, it's so much more difficult now than it was in his time before. Dati daw, saving money was enough to survive and live a comfortable life. Today, the competition is so high. Ang mahal-mahal ng mga gamit ngayon dahil sa inflation, and it's just that much more difficult to financially succeed. And then, napaisip ako pagkatapos niya. Sabi ko, tama ka nga. It's no longer enough to save if you want to live comfortably. You have to be constantly investing. It's no longer about whether your savings can cover your expenses. It's now about whether your investments can cover your expenses. And because of that, I want to share with you all my experience as a trader and investor in the stock market and why I believe that you should all be investing in the stock market as well. So now, the question that you guys are probably asking, why am I focusing on the stock market specifically? Bakit yung stock market? Ang dami-dami kong options doon eh. Diba? As Mark was saying kanina, you have your bonds, savings account, yung mga cryptocurrency mo dyan, forex, diba? But my answer to that is right there sa bottom ng slide na to. Because stocks potentially provide the best return in the long run. So tingnan na tong graph na to. Savings or putting your money in a time deposit is not enough to keep up with the inflation rate. Diba? 2.3% lang ang savings ang returns mo, or time deposit 2.4. Ito ang inflation rate, 3.6. So your money may continue to increase, pero yung purchasing power mo or yung value ng money mo, yung mabibilhin mo in the coming years will be declining. The stock market potential return, as makikita niyo dito, 8.5%. It's clearly mas mataas sa inflation rate, diba? And by more than double. Now look at these figures. So based on the numbers that I showed you on the previous slide, these are the returns na makukuha nyo in a 15-year span from 2006 to 2020. Now, of course, this may change over time. And syempre, I'm not gonna promise you guys the exact same returns in the future. Hindi naman ako magsisinungaling sa inyo. It can be higher, it can be lower. But keep in mind that kahit anong investments na ginawa nyo, may risk naman dyan regardless eh. Even if iniwan nyo lang yung pera nyo sa bangko, kahit maliit lang yung risk, may risk pa rin dyan. Diba? Historically, it has shown that the stock market will appreciate over time. And statistically, it's a great investment to go with. So before I get into more detail on that, let's go over the basics muna of the stock market on the next slide. So for some of you, hindi nyo pa alam yung mga basic concepts na to. But don't worry, okay lang yan. That's no problem. That's why I'm here, diba? So let's start off first with what is a stock. So a stock is basically a piece of a company. So pag bumili ka ng isang stock, you're buying a piece of ownership to that company. So for example, if that company has a total of 10,000 shares and bumili ka ng 1,000 shares of that company, then magiging 10% owner ka na ng kumpanya na yun. It's as simple as that. So, second, how does the stock market actually work? So, don't forget that it always takes two to tango. Parang relationship lang yan. There needs to be a buyer and a seller for all transactions. So if, for example, I want to buy 100 shares of company A, I would need to input my order through a broker. There would need to be a seller on the other side who is holding at least 100 shares of company A and is willing to sell it at the same price as the buyer for the transaction to match. So if there's an agreed upon price, then the transaction will go through the stock market. If not, the order will still be left pending until the price and the number of shares gets matched with another person. So now, how do I earn money from the stock market? Simple lang yan. There's only two ways. One is through price appreciation, and the second is through dividends. So, start muna tayo dito sa price appreciation. If, for example, you buy a share of Wilcon at 5.05 pesos, nung unang siyang nag-IPO in 2017. Tsaka binenta mo lang this year in 2021. So when I last updated these slides, mga last week lang to, Wilcon was worth 20.20 pesos. You would have made 4 times your money if you sold it at that price. So, to better put things into perspective lang for you all. Kung wari lang, example lang to example lang. If you had 1 million pesos in 2017 and balak mong bumili ng Toyota, for example, to drive yourself to school para mas madali, di nyo na kailangang magsakay ng public transport or whatever it is. Pero napadalawang isip ka. You just told yourself na lang na tiisin ko na lang tong college life ko. Bata pa naman ako. Kaya ko naman. Di ko pa kailangan ng kotse. I-invest ko na lang tong pera sa stock market na to. From buying Wilcon at that time at 5.05 pesos, yung 1 million pesos mo would be worth 4 million today kung binenta mo last week. 4 times your money. Baka nakasakay ka na kayo ng Mercedes or BMW. Diba? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying na, I'm not encouraging you all to invest or just spend all your money on luxury goods. I'm encouraging you all to reinvest because of the power of compounding or the power of reinvesting. So if you do this, yung luxury car na yan will no longer cost you your whole 4 million pesos. In the future, that will turn into a small portion of your capital na lang. So why should you reinvest? Tingnan na tong chart na to. What would happen if you invested 50,000 pesos over the span of 30 years with a 6% return per year versus the same condition pero with reinvesting the yearly 6% returns? So, if you didn't reinvest, you would only earn around 287,000 pesos, which is about 5.7 times your money if you reinvested, versus only 140,000 pesos or 2.8 times your money if you didn't reinvest. I mean, 2.8 times your money, okay na din yun, diba? Pag inisip mo, okay na din yun. But the difference between the two is more than double, which when you think about it, ang laki. 140,000 pesos versus 280,000 pesos. Ang laki ng difference. And that's why reinvesting is so important in the long run. Diba? So the second method of earning is through dividends. But first of all, what are dividends? So dividends are a distribution of profits by a corporation to its shareholders. So you're considered a shareholder as long as you hold one of the company's shares. Kahit isang share lang yung hinahawak mo, shareholder ka pa rin. Now, you might be wondering what these categories here mean. The only one you need to know, yung importante lang dyan, aside from syempre yung payout ng dividend rate, diba? Is the ex-dividend date. So this is the date you need to be holding the share into to be eligible to receive the dividends. So, in case di niyan naintindihan, to clarify lang, take Metrobank here as an example. You need to hold your shares before March 2, going into March 2, which here is the dividend date, for you to qualify to receive the dividends. Okay? So the next question is, what are the ways in which you can buy stocks? Two examples here, two of the main examples. Ito din yung sinasabi ni Mark kanina. You can buy individual stocks or you can buy equity index funds. So unang-una, starting off with the individual stocks. You buy a share of an individual company such as SM or BDO or Globe, diba? Then you become a shareholder of that company that you buy. But the question that you're probably wondering is, how do I pick which stocks to buy? So how do I know which company will give me the best chances to earn a profit? Diba? So we use this FTSR framework. The first is the fundamentals. You have to know your company well, from inside and out. Kung sino yung may-ari, kamusta yung performances nila financially, alam mo ba yung kung ano yung catalyst nila, both new and old? Ano yung mga effects that this will have on the company in the future and that it's had in the past? Pangalawa is technicals. And there's a big misconception on this, on the technical side of trading. People always think na yung technicals na yan, it's all about charting, mga indicators, or kung ano-ano. All of these, syempre, importante pa rin. Don't get me wrong, pero the real heart behind technicals is studying human behavior. You need to make well-timed and educated guesses on when to enter and when to exit the market to give you the best possible chances of earning. So when it comes to charting, just keep this in mind. Remember this one thing lang. Indicators are all supplementary. Price is always king pa rin at the end of the day. Next, third is the market sentiment. You need to understand the present condition of the market as a whole. So tingnan na lang yung last 2 weeks, for example. The whole Philippine market has been suffering kasi may balita about the Delta variant, diba? And even if some companies has been performing extremely well, masama pa rin yung market. Why? Bakit? 'Di ba? Kasi people get scared on the outlook of the economy. Takot na sila. They don't know whether the economy will crash, kung magla-lockdown ulit, 'di ba? You can't predict it. So if people are scared, magbebentahan 'yon. It will really crash. You cannot ignore the sentiment. It's vital talaga to the framework, guys. So no matter how well a company is doing, if there is no demand present, the price will not go up. Basic economics lang yan. Diba? So last and arguably the most important in this framework right here is risk. Everything na sinabi ko, yung FTS na yan, useless yan kung wala yung risk nyo throughout all your trades. You need to be able to weigh in yung potential wins and losses for every trade. You need to stay disciplined. You need to make sure you do your research and that you know your company well before choosing. Diba? So a lot of the time, dami nating naririnig eh. We hear jackpot plays from baka friends mo, family, relatives, diba? Na bumili sila ng basura stocks or yung cryptocurrency. Nag-profit sila ng 1 million pesos sa isang trade lang. Wala pang 1 week. Pero your odds of hitting those are so small. As Mark was saying kanina, diba? 0.0001. And the thing is, you only hear about the times na kumita yung tao or naswerte sila. Hindi mo naririnig yung mga beses na talo sila, nasunog sila, na bankrupt sila because they made that trade, that wrong trade. Mali yung mentality na yun. So if you want to learn more about that, about the framework, if you want to take your trading to the next level, I would strongly recommend going to Kalum Trading Institute. On the top right there, they are specialized in training people to learn how to trade as best as they can. They are also partners with Gulf Financial. So if you know that the people who will be training you there are experienced professionals now. So just to share with you guys, COL Financial also has some additional resources on YouTube, which you can go to anytime. So those videos will be covering a lot of topics like the FTSR framework that I was talking about, company outlook into specific stocks, or the market as a whole. And promise ko sa inyo, yung mga comments niyan sa kanan, that's all real. If you don't believe me, punta kayo dyan. You can look for it yourself. The content is very wide. It's easy to understand. And it personally helped me so much when I was starting out. And best, it's free. Libre siya. You don't need to pay. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, parang ang hassle niyan. Ang hahaba ng mga video sa YouTube. Wala akong ganyang oras. Surprise! It's on social media also, guys. Twitter posts. Ang eksi lang yan. I'm sure most of you go on your social media accounts at least once a day, no? So, getting all the information you need is just too easy. Wala na kayong excuses. It's right there. All your sources. Now, just to list a few examples of what good quality companies look like. So, these are all familiar names, I'm sure. Most of them are household names already. Diba? Mga BPI, BDO, Ayala, Globe, Metrobank. So, they've been around for so long and they're still surviving. They're still going strong because they're fundamentally good companies. And it's likely na they'll be around during the generation of your kids or even your grandkids. Kasi those companies na may problema talaga fundamentally, they will really die out one way or another. And that's why we always preach the importance of finding good quality companies when investing, when choosing which companies to invest in. Next, going back to the main topic. The second way you can buy stocks is through equity index funds. So how this works is a pool of investors gather their money into a fund. You don't have to be friends. You don't have to know each other. These can just be complete strangers. from anywhere, kung sino-sino man lang, the total fund is collected and handled by a professional fund manager. So itong fund manager na to will have the power to decide which companies will be bought with the fund and how much allocation is given to each company that they choose, whether or not the fund earns or loses. So dito sa Pilipinas, the fund managers are paid a fixed amount, and the profits or losses from the investments will be shouldered by the investors. And the most well-known equity index fund, of course, is the PSEI. And this is composed of 30 of the top companies here in the Philippines. These index funds generally have lower risk and reward compared to individual stocks, as its price is a total of the 30 stocks together. So if the price of one of these companies crashes, the other company's prices baka tumaas, nag-balance out, and it would generally keep the index to be more stable at its price. So on this slide here, these are just some examples of other equity funds in case na interested kayo. So please, I'm not necessarily recommending these to you guys. It's just so you can get a better idea in case you want to do more research after the session. Now, how do you know which one is for you? And that's something na hindi ko masagot. Only you guys will know the answer to that. Decision nyo yan as to which one is better fit for your lifestyle and which one is better fit for your personality. So, generalizing the two options. The equity index fund would be more for the people who don't have as much time to do their own research or who don't know how to choose their own stocks. And it will be managed by a professional fund manager also. So, of course, the risk-reward management will generally be more minimal also. If you're buying individual stocks, it would be for people who are a bit more active sa market. You can choose your own stocks to purchase, how much of it, when you want to buy, when you want to sell. You have the freedom to do what you want. But syempre, yung risk nyo, mas malaki as a trade-off. So to better help you guys choose, tingnan na tong slide na to. Here, I laid out two main different types of people who participate in the stock market. You have the investor and the trader. So first, ask yourselves, ano yung time frame nyo? Minutes, days, weeks, months, diba? Kahit years. Second, do you focus more heavily sa fundamentals ng kumpanya? Or are you more interested in the short-term price movements tsaka yung technicals na yan? Third, what kind of returns are you realistically expecting? Diba? Gusto niyo ba yung annual 8.5% na sinasabi ko? Yung mentality niyo ba, jackpot pa rin ba? Kahit na mali yun, you have to realistically gauge where you want to be or what you're expecting. Fourth, how much time do you have? Ano yung lifestyle nyo? Are you willing to put more time, more effort? Marunong na ka ba kayo sa stock market or beginner ka pa lang, diba? Are you willing to learn? And last, emotionally vulnerable ba kayo sa mga trades? Kung talo kayo, will this affect your performance in the long run? Or kung panalo kayo, magiging mayabang na ba kayo sa future trades nyo? Diba? So please remember then, these are just some things that you have to think about when you're deciding what type of trader you are. There's no pressure naman to be one or the other. Wala namang better kind of trading. There's no correct answer. So that's really up to you na to decide. But if you choose na gusto niyo maging trader, more active, I strongly recommend taking the time to read up muna. Watch the videos, practice trading before you get started. The stock market, as Mark said kanina, delikado yan kung hindi nyo alam kung anong ginagawa nyo. Again, if you want to learn, go to Calum Trading Institute first, watch the YouTube videos online, or read books. Diba? These will help you with current events, yung stock market analysis, mga charting, perspective ng mga ibang tao. So they will teach you how to become a successful trader through their online modules. Or if you want to take it more seriously, pwede kang sumali sa school program nila ng Kalum. Or if you're an investor, however, ito yung next question ko sa inyo. How should I be investing? 3 easy steps lang yan. 1, invest for the long term. 2, invest in several good quality companies. And 3, invest regularly. First, invest in the long term. Now, nagtataka kayo, why long term? Why not short term? And the answer to that is because it's investing, diba? When you're investing, you're also investing your time because naniniwala kayo that the company that you chose or the index fund that you chose will appreciate over time. You're ignoring the short-term bumps that the market might encounter. Yung mga delta variant na yan, diba? It will tap the prices temporarily, but because it may incorrectly justify the price that it's trading at. It's not reflecting the real value of the company that you're buying. Now, if you want to actively buy or sell and participate in the market, that's called active trading, which is very different to what I'm trying to teach you guys today. So I'm really trying to encourage you guys to actively invest first of all. Tsaka na lang next time, pag medyo sanay na kayo, then you can do active trading. So, tingnan nyo lang tong chart na to of the PSEI. In January 1987, alam ko bata pa kayo, none of you were born yet at this time. But in January of 1987, the index was only worth 440 pesos. In December last year, the PSEI index was worth 7,140 pesos. Just from buying the index in 1987. Tsaka iniwan nyo lang, wala na kayong ginawa. Ganyan lang. Hinawak nyo lang. Until last year, December, you would have made 16.2 times your money. Just like that. Second, invest in several good quality companies. So I'll break that down for you guys para mas madali. Several kasi you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Yan nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, diba? In the previous slide. It's all about risk management. Good quality companies kasi they will give you the best chance of turning a steady profit in the long run. So there are also different sector breakdowns which you might also want to consider. Property prices, if for example, property prices begin to tank for some reason, bumaba siya. If you're holding multiple stocks but are all from the property sector, ede you'll obviously still take a hit, diba? Lugi ka pa rin. Lahat ng stocks mo is in the property sector. Kung bumagsak siya, ede patay ka pa rin. Whereas, if you diversify, if you invest in other sectors also, so the other sector might perform better and it might help you manage the losses. Diba? Kung bumagsak yung property, baka bumili ka doon sa mga bangko, bumili ka sa mga services, it might balance out your performance and it's better long-term, secure, and safer investment in the long run. So just something for you guys to consider when you're choosing or you're researching your companies now. Third, invest regularly. So, ano ibig ko sabihin by that? You're probably wondering, why can't I just buy the stock tapos hawakan ko na lang? Sa bagay, long-term investor naman ako, di ba? Well, I mean, pwede naman din. But I can do you one better. I'll recommend you all a strategy right now na ginagawa namin here at Call Financial for a very, very long time now. And it's worked for very, very, very many people over the last few decades. It's called the peso cost averaging strategy. So how does this work? you invest a fixed amount of money that you're comfortable with, syempre, set regular time intervals, and plan this over a fixed time period. And it has to be relatively long. Kailangan a few months or a few years. Lastly, make sure you're choosing good quality companies or index funds kung yan yung mas gusto nyo. And here's why. Look at this slide right here. I explain ko to. So if you start with 5,000 pesos and the company that you choose, etong stock ABC na to, you're allocating to buy 1,000 pesos of stock ABC at across a span of 5 months at whatever price it is at that month. But you have to buy it at that price. So in month 1, stock ABC, 100 pesos. 10 pesos per share. So your allocation for month 1 is 1,000 pesos. Ang binili mo, 100 shares for month 1. Month 2, umakyat yung presyo ng stock ABC. Ngayon, 20 pesos a share now. Yung 1,000 pesos mo for month 2, 50 shares na lang ang mabibili mo sa 1,000 pesos. Month 3, umakyat pa yung price. 25 pesos a share na. Yung 1,000 pesos mo for month 3, 40 shares na ang mabibilihin mo. And you do that across the time frame na gusto nyo. By the end of this 5 months, kung ito yung ginawa nyo, you will have bought a total of 280 shares of stock ABC and you've spent a total of 5,000 pesos, diba? So how much is your average price? 17.85 pesos per share. Next, if you look at this chart, you can easily understand yung in-explain ko lang sa previous slide. So the line below is your average cost. Tsaka yung line sa taas represents the index or the stock na binibili nyo. So in this specific case, yung binibili nyo is the PSEI. But what I'm trying to say is, majority of the time, kung ito yung ginawa nyo, your average buying price will be lower than the current price. Diba? And that difference between buying price mo and the current price, yan yung kinikita nyo. Yan yung profit nyo. Diba? And if you look here dito sa dulo, in around 2020, the only reason na nag-dip yung presyo ng PSEI is because of the pandemic. Diba? Unexpected naman yan eh. Sobrang rare lang yan. Maybe once in a lifetime lang yan, diba? And kahit na nangyari pa yan, tingnan niyo yung presyo ngayon. It's back up. Kumikita na uli kayo. Just after a short amount of time, you're still making a profit. Diba? So all of this sounds so time-consuming. Ang hirap naman. Diba? I don't know what to do, where to go. How do I do this? Paano yung setup? Madali lang yan, guys. Call Financial has the program na for you. Laid out na yan. Di nyo na kailangan mag-isip. Andyan na yung opportunity nyo in front of you. It's called the Easy Investment Program. So you only have to do one-time setup at the start. Maiksi lang siya, madali lang siya, and it's automatic. That's the best part. You will be automatically reminded through email of when the stock will be purchased for you. You don't have to buy it yourself na. They will buy it for you. So you don't have to do anything manually na. Everything is made easy. It's transparent. Diba? So this is what the COL Financial dashboard looks like if you want to schedule your EIP. Madali lang yung setup, I promise you. If nahirapan kayo, feel free to reach out. I'll send you guys my details later. If you're having a hard time choosing also, doing your own research of which stock you like, which equity index fund you like, Call Financial has their own in-house analysis reports and recommendations of which stock they believe has the best potential to perform in the future. Kasama na yung mga news reports, their own analysis, analytics, fair values, all the convenient tools is there na for you. Wala na kayong kailangang gawin. So, the next question is, why choose Call Financial, diba? Why not any other brokerages out there? The most simple answer is because they're the best. Everything is online na. From the setup, the depositing and the withdrawal of money, diba? The automatic purchasing of the stocks, setting up the program, reading the news. You don't have to go to the office na physically, maghanda pa ng papeles or kung ano-ano. Everything is online na on the website. Next, customer guidance. Your Call Financial family is always available and happy to assist you. So, everyone here wants the best for you. Diba? Everybody in this company wants you to earn money and to succeed in your investment. Now, the first thing that comes to your mind, itong si Enrique, nambobola lang. Gusto lang mag-promote ng mga client. Let me tell you why hindi ako nagsisinungaling. I will tell you why we really want the best for you and why we want you to succeed. If you guys lose all your money, ayaw nyo na maglaro ng stock market, mawawala kami ng kliyente. If you earn money, you can continue to invest your money and we can continue to work together moving forward and invest, help each other grow into the future and be better along the way. There's no reason for us to want to see you fail. We're always rooting for you. We're always doing our best to give you the best information, the best analysis out there. Otherwise, talo din kami, di ba? Next, another is that it has automatic investments. So, as I mentioned kanina, the system will do everything for you. One-time setup lang yung EIP schedule beforehand, which is that peso cost investment strategy. And last, it's your one-stop shop for everything. It's so convenient. Everything you need, nandyan na. But the most important one that I feel that will really attract the most people is because it's affordable. You don't need a lot of money to start investing today, guys. Palaging may misconception na yan na pang mayayaman lang yung investment na yan or that's yung stock market or whatever, diba? But in reality, you don't need a lot of money to start investing today. Every single one of you can open an account after this talk. Promise ko sa inyo. I'll explain more of the details later. But more importantly, COL Financial has the lowest trading fees later. But more importantly, COL Financial has the lowest trading fees. Per trade, they only take 0.25% of commissions. Other brokerages there, it takes 0.5. Double yan, guys. Double yan. Now, you're all set. How do you open the account? 3 steps. 1, prepare your requirements. 2, sign up, submit. 3, fund your account. Dali lang yan. So what documents do you need to prepare? You need these documents. Since most of you are students, hindi nyo na kailangan ng PIN number. So don't worry about that. For the rest of the documents, di nyo na kailangan i-memorize yan. I'm just showing you guys to give you an idea. All of the information you need to know is on the website. So next, sign up and submit these documents on the COL Financial website, diba? So last, fund your account through your Philippine bank or your e-wallet listed there. Again, you don't need to memorize it. The website will remind you which mediums are accepted, and you only need 1,000 pesos to start investing today. A lot of brokerages will require more. Dito sa Call Financial, 1,000 pesos lang. You will get all the access you need and you want to the full world of the stock market. So after you finish these steps, log on to the website and you're ready to start investing. Diba? Last, summarizing all of what I said today. I want to share one last story lang with you guys before I finish. So, I was fortunate enough to attend a talk recently with a couple of Toastmasters. And those Toastmasters taught me and helped me learn about public speaking, creating, delivering effective presentations to a specific audience. And one thing that stood out to me, one thing na natandaan ko talaga that I will take with me forever, what one of them said during his presentation is that a person will only remember an average of about 5% of the entire content taught. So, if 5% lang ang maaalala nyo sa presentation na binigay ko today sa inyo, it's this slide right here. This slide here is 2.5% of what I want you to remember and take with you forever. Save, invest, and reinvest. Pero 2.5% lang yan. 5% total, diba? Ano nangyari sa other 2.5%? So the second 2.5% that I want from you guys is to practice and actually act on investing, on learning, on actively reaching out to the stock market. Don't just remember it. So most of you are probably thinking, okay, interesting naman yung topic na binigay ni Enrique. I never knew na dami palang opportunity dito. Pero pagkatapos niyan, wala na kayong gagawin. You'll go back to your regular lives and just ignore it. Pero okay lang yan. That's okay. No problem. Wala namang masama dyan. For some of you, baka the stock market is really just not for you. Diba? For others, baka you're more interested in other types of investments. But for the few of you who actually end up researching, learning, and investing more into the stock market, for the few of you who end up opening an account today or in the near future, whenever it may be, I leave you with one word. Congratulations. Congratulations. So, as my colleagues always preach here at Call Financial, that I want to share with you today. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. And ang sagot ko dyan is save, invest, and reinvest. So, last things before I close out. Another great and easy source of stock information. Join the Viber community of Call Financial. Chairman and founder, Edward Lee, where you can get the best personal finance and stock investing insights, daily video learnings, expand and get updated on topics that actually matter. It's all for free, guys. I'll give you a second to get the URL or scan the QR code if you're interested. Okay, and then for those who want to learn more, sign up to get the free educational investment videos and materials. So I'll be sending this link to you guys on the Zoom chat box. And thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Sana naman may natutunan naman kayo. So I believe there's a Q&A portion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sir Enrique, for that very interesting talk about stocks that you have given to us. Sir. Okay, waiting for my partner.
Ayan, nakamute pala ako, partner. So, do you have your key takeaways with your partner? Ayan naman.
I actually have a takeaway with from what Mr. Enrique had said, no? Yung about sa save, invest, and reinvest. Yun yung pinaka ano ko. Kasi ibig sabihin, you have to do something that your future self will thank you. Tapos syempre, wala naman tayong gagawin para sa ikapapahamak natin. And that is that one thing na kailangan natin i-instill sa ating minds. And thank you for that, sir.
Ayan. Yun, partner, dadako na ata tayo sa ating Q&A. Pero bago tayo dadago sa ating Q&A, syempre, di ako papatalo sa aking key takeaways, syempre. So, sa aking key takeaways naman, partner, is sabi nga ni Sir Enrique na hindi mo kailangan mag-prepare ng malaking pera sa ating pag-investment, di ba? So, maybe there are some, yun nga, may mga taong takot, pero take courage din talaga, nandun din talaga yung risk. Ayan.
Just a little push, no? Para,
Tama po yun.
and with that said now, we are now opening the floor for the question and answer portion. Please leave a comment in our chat box and we will address it to Sir Enrique.
Ayan. So, sa mga may mga tanong po, dyan lang po sa ating chat box. Huwag po kayo mahiya kung may mga tanong po kayo. Ayan.
Okay, while waiting.
So, ayan, we have our first question po. So, sabi po, galing po kay Twinkle. Good day, sir. You said po kasi na initial amount to open an account is 1,000 peso. But some says there is some charges. There's some charges pa po kaya nababawasan pa yung 1,000 pesos. So, they advise na better put around 8,000 pesos na po. Just for clarification lang po, sir. Thank you po.
Yes. Good point. So, may 1,000 pesos is the minimum talaga. But per trade kasi that you make, all brokerages will charge you a percentage fee. So, yung mga fees ng mga ibang brokerages is 0.05% of your total amount that you trade. Here at Call Financial, it's 0.25% lang. But the reason why 8,000 yung mga sinasabi ng ibang tao is because 0.25% of 8,000 pesos is the base commission fee that COL will charge you. So kahit 1,000 pesos ranging to 8,000 pesos, 0.25% of 8,000 pesos, which is 20 pesos ang minimum fee na i-charge sa'yo. That's why they say that.
Thank you, sir. For the next question, what are important things to consider in investing stocks in known brands in the market?
As I said kanina, diba, if you're investing for the long term, I think the most important part is yung fundamentals na sinasabi ko kanina, that FTSR framework, diba? Of course, you need to consider all, pero yung pinaka-importante dyan is the fundamentals and the risk. Kailangan alam mo yung kumpanya, sino yung may-ari, kung may news, okay ba yung performance nila, yung mga numero nila. You have to know all of that. If hindi pa kayo sure, medyo beginner pa kayo when you're investing, may investment guides naman ng COL so they can help you give their opinion or give their own analysis to reconfirm whether you have the same views or your analysis is similar to theirs or not.
Ayun po, thank you po, sir. So, next question naman po tayo. Okay, good day, sir. During this time of pandemic, can you say that today is the best time to buy stocks or join the stock market?
Good question. So, before I answer that, my first answer would be, syempre, hindi ko alam, diba? What my boss Edward Lee always tells me, kung alam ko lang, mayaman na ako. But if you're asking my personal opinion, what I think of the stock market, I think it's a good time to enter. Kasi yan nga, may sell-off because of the Delta variant. So medyo may unreasonable yung pagka-sell-off ng Philippine stocks. So there's a good opportunity ahead if the economy recovers. Siyempre, pag nag-lockdown tayo, which there's rumors about in the next couple of weeks, then be careful lang. Is all I have to say. Be careful.
Please, ready for the next question po. Most people think about brands before investing to stocks. It was really necessary that we always look after with the brand standing of a certain company before choosing to invest with them.
I'm so sorry, pakiulit lang yon. I didn't hear that so clearly.
Oh, sorry po. Most people think about brands before investing to stocks. It was really necessary but that we always look after with the brand standing of a certain company po ba before we sorry po, nawala yun. Before choosing to invest with them. Wala.
The brand. Okay, so I don't think the brand is always the factor that you have to look at first. Eh. I think the reason why people say you have to look at the brand is because kung alam mo na yung brand, kung famous talaga yung brand, ibig sabihin matagal na talaga sila. Fundamentally, malakas talaga sila, kaya kilala mo na sila. But just because na kilala mo na sila, it doesn't mean that they're the best stock to choose in the future. Kasi there might be other stocks out there na smaller companies pa, baka startup pa lang, pero maganda yung business model nila, yung financials nila. Pero if you haven't heard of the brand, eh syempre, lugi ka na dyan, di ba? Late ka na pag pumasok ka in the future. So you have to really pay attention to the background of the company. While of course, if you know the company, maybe it will help you. Pero it's really important to know the fundamentals of the company more than anything, more than the brand name for sure.
So next po tayong question natin. So next is what is the best age to start investing?
The best age is now. Whatever age you are, I don't care how young you are. The younger you are, the better. If you can start today, start today. The reason I say that is because yung binanggit ni Mark kanina in his presentation earlier, is that the sooner you start, especially at this age na students pa kayo, wala pa kayong masyadong responsibilities eh. You're not paying the bills yet. Hindi pa kayo responsible sa mga pagkain, mga gas, or whatever it may be. You have the opportunity and the ability to make mistakes. And if you can make mistakes earlier, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, syempre, the better you get, the faster you get. Diba? And the sooner you start investing, the bigger the potential of the returns in the long run. And if you start late na kayo, mga 30 na, your 30-year window, 60 na kayo. If you followed my model kanina, yung 30-year time period, if you start now, mga 18 pa lang kayo, by 48, malaki na yung pera nyo. Medyo set na kayo for retirement or whatever it is that you want to push further your investments, diba? So, simple answer, start now. That's my simple answer, guys.
For that, sir. Next question po. I just want to ask, how can we sell the share that we have? If we ever invest, to whom will we sell it, and when do we need to sell it?
To who you sell to, you don't know who specifically, but you're selling it through the platform, through the COL financial brokerage platform online na. So all the buying, all the selling will be done through that brokerage, and then it has to be matched by another order. So for example, if you want to sell your stock ABC of 100 shares at 50 pesos, for example, somebody else has to be interested also in stock ABC, place an order of the same amount at of 100 shares at 50 pesos also, and then your transaction will match. As to your second question, when to sell, syempre, there's no straightforward answer to that. Iiba talaga yan depending on which company, ano yung time frame mo, ano yung buying price mo. And back to what I said kanina, diba? Kung alam ko lang, mayaman na ako.
So for our next question po is, let's say po na bumili ka sa Jollibee, then bumaba yung price. Then hinold mo na lang siya, di mo siya He knows. Ano pong mangyayari sa money mo? Sunog na ba or hanggat hold mo siya, kahit below na sa fund mo, okay lang po ba yun?
Depende yun eh. That depends. First of all, common naman yan. No problem kung nag-drop yung price. That happens to all the stocks all the time. Up and down lang naman yan eh. Siyempre, hindi lang naman up palagi, di ba? It depends also what kind of either trading or investing. If you're investing, mas long-term ka, pwede mo na yung hawakan. Don't be so concerned or worried if bumaba yung price in the short term. Kasi it's shown statistically, sa long run, babalik at babalik talaga yan. It will recover, it will go back up. But if you're actively trading, mas short term yung tingin mo sa Jollibee, again, to know when to time the market, you have to know that framework, that FTSR framework a little bit better. So I cannot give you a specific answer right now as to when the best price is or when the best time. It will really depend on the every situation, and that will change every single case. It will really change the answer to that.
So, ayan, thank you po, sir. Ay, meron pa po bang questions, clarifications po for sir? Comment nyo lang po kung meron pa po tayong need i-clarify. Ayan. So, I believe wala na po ata. Partner, wala na po atang tanong. So,
Wala na. So thank you so much, Sir Enrique Tan. Let us now proceed to the awarding of the certificate.
So, for the awarding of certificate, Lyceum of the Philippines University College of Business Administration Student Government 2020 to 2021 is hereby awarded to Mr. Enrique Tan the Certificate of Appreciation for his invaluable insights and expertise shared with the participants of CBA Conference 2021 entitled Women Business, Keeping Up with the Trends in the New Normal, held on July 29 to 30, 2021 via Zoom Cloud meetings given by this 29th of July 2021 in Manila, Philippines. Signed by Dr. Maria Victoria M. Akak, College Dean, Ms. Ana Grace B. Magcalas, Advisor, Mr. John Fort Edwin E. Amora, License Go Representative of CBA Student Government, and Ms. Michelle Angela B. Martinez, President of the CBA Student Government.
That said, may we ask everyone to please open their cameras for the photo opportunity with our dearest speaker.
Okay po. So, open your cameras po. Guest and syempre CBSG. So,
Okay. So, while waiting, gusto may mga nag-open pa ng cameras. Sige, wait lang natin sila.
yes.
Okay. Leave yan na. So, 1, 2, 3, smile.